gonna rise, rise, keep on rising.
It's 790 KABC. Welcome to Change Reaction Radio and the Change Reaction Radio podcast. But it's more than a podcast. It's actually kind of an invitation to join a movement, really, of generosity and love. So if you're here, then you're with us, and we need you, and we're glad you're here. I'm Matt West. It's good to be here, and with me here, it's great to have you, Christina Pascucci.
Good to be with you. This is just the best.
I love it. It's been
Every
so
week.
fun these last couple of weeks doing this show with you, and it's so much fun. We like to bring people into the fold with us. So,
oh yeah, you gotta.
Joining us today, our third co-host. She's the co-founder of the Change Reaction. We've talked to the founder, her amazing husband, Greg. This is Jodi Perlman.
Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
It's so incredible to have you. We've been talking so much about the organization and the amazing work that's been done for the last 5, nearly 6 years at this point. How has that experience been for you to see it go from an idea to a movement?
Well, it's unbelievable, and it's not shocking though, because when you love what you do, I just think it comes easy. And my husband and I have been doing philanthropy and giving for so long. This was just like the next segue into doing something new, and we were confident. We were very confident that it was going to go, and we're thrilled. I mean, we watch it. We're watching it daily, and it just keeps getting better and better.
Well, because you have so much passion behind it, and I think that the intent was so pure from the beginning, and you guys cut the red tape in such a profound way. You directly give to the people who need it most. Can you tell us how it all started? Like, take us back to the beginning when that idea went into fruition, to reality.
Absolutely. We were meeting, we're very involved with UCLA Health. I'm actually on the Mattel Children's Hospital board there. And we were meeting with Johnny Spiso, who was the new CEO at the time. And we were sitting in her office, and she had brought this new initiative to the hospital about doing things for the families in a non-medical way. And as she was sharing this 3-Wish program with us, Greg and I literally looked at each other and a light bulb went on. It was almost at the exact same time. And we knew exactly what we were thinking. And Greg proceeded to ask her, well, what happens to the family members of the parents that are sitting there in the hospital with their kids? What happens to them? What happens to if they're sitting there and they're hourly workers and they're not working? Who's helping them? And it started a conversation, and that literally was it. And Greg and I went home, and we started talking, and we said, this is what we have to do. And we have to find a way to help these people because they need it desperately. Because if they're not working and not getting paid, they're not paying their bills. And they're really going to be up against it.
I mean, making a decision to get in and help people is something that's, I think, easy for a lot of people to do. But making a decision to help people and do it at the scale that the Change Reaction has grown into, when did that happen? Like, when did it go from, here's an amazing idea, here's a great opportunity for us to help, to growing it into this massive networked organization that it is today?
Well, what happens is you start giving, and then you see what happens. So the first gift is given. We get requests from UCLA. It was all about the social workers and the nurses and the people on the ground. They're the ones that do the work. So the requests were coming from them. So we would get stories and the requests from them. Someone needed some help. They would get the help, and the reaction, it was surreal because you really saw immediately what happened. We really, they say we changed their life. We enhanced their life. We gave them that breathing room. And so we did it again. And we did it again. And we kept saying, give us more. Give us more. It's almost like it's a drug. It's a contagious drug. It's really what it is. And
you've had a lot of it because there's been about 5 years now, $50 million or so given away, about 40,000 people. That's a mind-boggling number. Does anything stand out to you most when you think back on all of that?
Well, what happens is we started with just UCLA, and then what we recognized was if we could do this at UCLA, there's more hospitals, there's more people, and it just segued organically into help everybody. There are so many people, the teachers, I mean, the list is endless, and it just really became that contagious. And Greg and I together, here's what I always tell people, because the thank yous, when you're giving someone a gift, people don't know how to receive it. They're overwhelmed. So what I always say to them is, what you're feeling right now is exactly what we're feeling. What you're feeling in receiving this gift is the exact same feeling that Greg and I feel when we give you this gift. And they get it. And that's why it just keeps going. The magnitude of this is so unbelievable. Greg and I go to bed smiling and we wake up smiling because we want to keep going. It's not even close to enough.
Is this something that you were always called to do? I mean, helping out at this grand kind of scale. We talked about the numbers a minute ago. I mean, have you always been driven this way to be of service?
I have to say yes. I've always been this way. My dad, who passed away 21 years ago, I recently told this story. It was him. He was exactly this way. I have always been this way. And my in-laws have always been this way. So Greg and I as a couple have had this forever. And we've been doing this forever, starting on small scales with Christmas gifts from many, many years ago. And this is really what we're here to do.
I mean, it's interesting that you talk about the family, right? You talk about your father, the in-laws.
Yes.
I mean, this is really a family affair. Your daughter,
Absolutely.
Brooke,
Absolutely.
works in communications for the Change Reaction. Your sister-in-laws are part of it. Your son helps us out with a lot of the creative and the look and the feel of things. Like, how easy was it for them to get enrolled in what you and Greg were doing?
You want to set a good example for your children, and you hope that they take some of it on, and it's all about values. And it was easy. It was easy for them because they live it with us. They see what we do, and we've raised them that way, and they literally took it on for themselves. They all have different careers. Brooke obviously got involved in it right from the beginning, but they love it as much as we do. And they have their own organizations they support. Our boys live in New York. They support their own organizations over there. But they really do love it as much as we do. It's a joy to see.
What's the big vision for you? I know, I've talked to Greg. I've spent many hours with Greg, and, his mind is just constantly right?
Moving.
Yes,
Moving.
it is. Oh, yeah.
Never stops. Like the
He
things.
does sleep, though. We taught him how to sleep.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
That's one step.
For you, where does your vision go with this? Like, I'm sure where the organization is now versus where you started and where you thought you could be helpful is nowhere near the same place.
I'm in the retail business, and I've owned stores for 20 years, and people ask me all the time, what is it? Retail is relationships. I'm about people. Every single day of my life, whether I'm at the market, in any store, I love people. I love helping people. So my vision for this is just to keep going. It's not enough. It's endless what we can do, and we're just going to keep doing it. I don't have anything specific, but I love it so much, and I want to keep going. I love all the businesses. I love every single person that we've ever helped.
I think what's so cool about you bringing up your experience as a business owner is really that's by and large what we're here to talk about today. I want to share a little something. This was incredible. Christina, do you want to set this little bit up?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Jodi Perlman, who I have such a big girl crush on, and a lot of it stems from this moment when we were in Malibu, and a lot of people don't realize PCH is still closed. A lot of businesses have been struggling. And as someone who has owned retail herself, Soto Boutique, right?
Yes.
Which, by the way, we also, I think, met years ago on Topanga in one of your shops, which is a whole other story. But it was on her heart to want to get back to these businesses that she has personal relationships with, and in some cases she doesn't. And I had the honor of witnessing her surprise them with a very generous gift.
Let's take a listen to that.
Coming down here to Malibu Cross Creek, they're struggling. These are small mom and pops, most of them. And as a Malibu resident, we have to help our own. And I'm going to go around to almost every business in this center and give them some kind of funds for gift certificates, because I'm going to be passing these out to everybody to get people single-handedly back into this community.
I mean, talk about a mission. Talk about a woman on a mission.
What was that day like for you?
I cried the whole day. I cried the whole way home out of joy. I'm getting choked up as I'm even thinking about it, because it's my heart. It's my heart. It's how I live. I was so thrilled to do this, and I did more the other day. I went into a few more stores. I bought more gift cards, and I was not stopping until I hit every single solitary store in that center. And we're almost done. We're almost done, and it's just pure joy for me. It drives me every single solitary day. It just does.
I mean, that's a story you can see on our Instagram at Change Reaction, which is just it's such a mind-blowing piece, and it's not something that you do for the cameras. You just said, like, you went back and did it. We just happened to go with you. Christina went with you that day just to see what that was going to be like. But this isn't something you do for the cameras. This isn't something we do for likes or views.
They didn't even have any sort of press until recently with the fire response.
Correct.
Really, can you talk about the response of the business owners when they received this gift and found out the news?
People are in shock because, first of all, they don't believe that it's real. And when you offer a gift of money or gift cards, they kind of take a step back. And the first reaction always is, wait, what? That's what they say, wait, what? And then I have to explain. And then there's a lot of hugging involved and a lot of shock and a lot of gratitude, which, of course, is the best. It makes me cry.
We're going to get a chance to hear from one of those business owners. They're here. We're going to talk to them in the next segment here and get a little bit more into it and find out how businesses are recovering in the aftermath of the Eaton fires and the Palisades fires. So, Jodi, can you just stick around for the whole show? I love your energy.
Absolutely.
I love having you here.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Not going anywhere.
So we'll take a quick break here and we'll come back with more Change Reaction Radio. You are listening to 790 KABC. It's 790 KABC, Change Reaction Radio, and the Change Reaction Radio podcast. I'm Matt West. With me is Christina Pascucci, and joining us today is Jodi Perlman, co-founder of the Change Reaction. We've been spending a lot of time talking with Jodi about her role in the organization and her passion for helping people, and a recent experience that she had rolling up into Malibu just kind of on a random Friday. And well, tell us what you did. We really kind of want to get. We sort of touched on it last segment. We didn't really talk about what you actually did.
Well, what I actually did was, Greg and I were talking about the businesses and what we felt like Malibu wasn't getting the attention it needed, and we hadn't been down there for a little while. We were going down, and we talked about what shall we do. And I said, you know what? I know these businesses are hurting. I know almost every owner in that center at Cross Creek, and I need to buy gift cards. The reason I wanted to buy gift cards is because I wanted to get people back into the center. That was the most important thing. So that's what I was doing. I was literally going down there to walk into these stores to buy gift cards, and I knew how much I wanted to spend, and it was a lot, and I knew if I did this, it would make a huge difference because it would definitely get people down there.
5,000 to 10,000 per store, which is just remarkable. And to witness that was such a gift. Like, thank you for allowing me to share in those moments, because seeing your heart and the way it was received, it was just so unexpected. And one of the stores we went into was 9026 Eyes, which has been around for almost 30 years. They were one of the stores you didn't know prior to this, but now you're besties, I'm sure.
Let's take a listen to some of what happened when she brought that gift around.
Going around today and just getting gift certificates from every store that I love. I want to make sure that people know that Malibu's still here. Why are you so nice? Look, you got
She really is.
Yes, I love her.
Are you kidding me? This is not what people do. I think everybody teared up in here.
Even my eyes water. I'm like the ice king.
He is the ice king.
Unbelievable.
And that was Ari's voice, who joins us now from 9026 Eyes.
Ari Rose,
doing?
welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Jodi. Thank you, Chris.
What was that experience like for you? I mean, did you know Jodi before this?
No, I mean, I thought I recognized her from coming in the store. You know, we have so many people come in and out. And when she said that, my eyes literally it was utter shock, because people don't do this. You don't really get genuine people giving from their hearts. And it was a shocker. And a little funny thing, she was like, okay, we're going to do X amount of gift cards, and there's one caveat. And all of us in our background's like, okay,
There's a catch.
There's a catch.
Yeah.
And the catch was they had to spend more money than the gift card was.
Well, that's a
And
good catch.
That is a good catch. And it was truly unbelievable. Like, Steve is the Ice King, and he totally teared up. And it was unbelievable.
Now, how long have you been with 902 Eyes? Christina mentioned you've been there 28 years.
28 years the store has been open, and I've worked there 17 of them, on and off 17. But, yeah, I came back about 6 years ago, and they caught me and dragged me back in, and
You're too
love being
good.
there.
They just love you there.
Thank you.
And you said you've lived in Malibu since you were around 10 years old. So you've
Yes.
seen a lot between the fires and some of the natural disasters that have struck that region. How is this one compared, and what have the last few months been like for you guys?
Oh, it's been I haven't seen anything like this. I mean, COVID was really rough just because we didn't know what was going on, but this is 100 times worse. It's to see all of LA affected by this is so heartbreaking. Malibu, we've always been a little tight-knit community because we've gone and seen this before, and we've been through it a lot. But to see all of LA experience this is the hardest thing. But I've noticed LA, like I'm being led over on the freeway now. There's so much that is, I think, positively changed in LA because people are starting to care more. And the change reaction is incredible. Just seeing what you guys are doing for people is so incredible.
I mean, people are just starting to get the word that Malibu's still there.
We are here.
There are still businesses that are open and ready to serve.
And it's funny because, every Malibu is known for being a certain place, but it's not what everybody seems to think it is on TV or wherever. There's so many family businesses, so many people, so many restaurants that are owned that are hurting. And, it's, our main road to get into us. Yes, it's going to take you an hour and a half maybe to get in 2 hours, but we're worth it. I swear.
What is the deal with that? What have you heard from the city in terms of when PCH is reopening, and what would you tell people? Like, how do they reach you then in the meantime?
There's a few ways to reach us. As of right now, I've heard through the city, June 1st is going to be PCH open one direction each way, so north and south. And then you can come through the 101 over Malibu Canyon and or Canaan, or you can come through Oxnard and come down PCH from the 101 if you're north.
Are you hopeful that by the time June rolls around that you'll see an increase in traffic, you'll see an increase in presence, or?
We are really hoping so. I mean, like I will say I was shocked with how many people came after for the first couple weeks, but now we're starting to be like, okay, it's kind of either forgetting or it's too far or the traffic's too much. But I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful.
And what's happening with your business and certainly other businesses in the area, right? Like there's only so much that you can do. I'm sure as a small business, you don't want to take on more debt and more loans to try and keep the lights on. So
we can't, no. And the hard part is, since none of our structures were lost, there was no destruction to our business, we're not getting any help from our insurance or anything like that, which is really hard because we're like, wait, our main road into our city is now locked or, shut down, and we can't do anything about it.
What does Malibu City Council say to you guys as business owners? Like, what have they been able to tell you?
Nothing really. And that's the hard part. It's sad, and like we don't know. And the fact that everybody tells you something else, Malibu's very known for, oh, I heard this or I heard this.
Yeah.
And nothing is the exact same yet.
And you heard at PCH, it could take years until it's fully reopened.
I've heard up to 5 years till both lanes are open. And I've heard a lot of houses won't be able to rebuild because they were all on septic and it was grandfathered in. So I'm really sad to know that a lot of those homes, and I mean, the view might be better, but it's horribly sad.
I mean, how frustrating is that for you? I'm thinking about, look, you're a business owner. Business taxes are due. You got to pay taxes to the city, and the city's not able to tell you anything about how does that? I mean,
it's really frustrating, and it's frustrating from so many perspectives. And everybody, we're all sitting there. We're all struggling. We're trying to get permits to go in and out of the city, try to do anything, and even that's really hard. We're not able to see vendors. We're not able to see things to even try to get new business in.
And look, you're not in this alone. You're in a whole center of other businesses. So what are the conversations like with your co-tenants in the center and your other your friends who are also in business in the area?
Absolutely. I mean, for a long time, everybody was there from about 12 to 3. And that was all we could really do. We had to be there a little bit more because we have to service people's glasses and whatnot. But we were really quiet for a long time. And now we're all finally getting back together saying, okay, we're going to stay open until 6. We're going to be open 10 to 6 every day and actually be there for the community and be there for everybody. And, I'm hoping that we will start to see an influx of people coming in. Like I was very stoked this weekend. Kids from Baylor were around. I'm like, wow, you actually flew to California. I didn't know if it was before the fires or they had this plan, but they still came out to Malibu. They still came out to see everything. And so that was a blessing. That was something I was excited about, at least.
I mean, as a business, right? Like, look, I've worked in retail for a long time, so I've spent a lot of time on slow days, even at a place where you really want to be. I used to work in record stores, right?
Oh yeah,
so you want to be in a place. It's a place you want to be, but on a slow day, man, it can be a grind. So just tell me what that's like working on a day where you're really wanting foot traffic, you're really wanting to serve people and take care of people, and you're just not seeing it. What's that like for you?
Well, thank God we bring the dogs, so I'm not talking to
Instant
myself.
mood enhancer.
Yeah, absolutely. When people walk in, I'm actually talking to the dogs, and I'm not talking by myself to myself. So, it's frustrating, but I got to keep a positive attitude, and I live in a beautiful city with beautiful people and people like Jodi that come in and just surprise us. So, I'm hoping that continues.
It's incredible, man.
Yeah, it was beautiful to see. Do you have a message for Jodi or something you'd like to say?
I mean, yes, absolutely. I have grown up and I've been very blessed in my life to be in Malibu, to have traveled the world, to have been around so many people and meet so many amazing people. And to see someone to put their money where their mouth is one of the most amazing things on earth. And when it's genuine and true, like it did, it felt it was truly a blessing. And thank you.
Thank you.
No,
I felt
honestly,
the same
thank
way.
you.
I did. We hugged. We've been hugging
Yeah,
ever
we
since.
have.
No.
We have.
No, but you guys are truly an incredible organization, and I've been honored to just be a part of it. So thank you.
I feel the same way.
Thank you.
It's true. We hadn't met before.
No, we hadn't.
But it was as if we knew each other forever.
For sure.
By the time I walked out of that store.
Well, now you're tied.
We're definitely
100%.
tied.
Now you're tied.
Absolutely.
And her daughter came in like 3 days later, had no idea they were even related, sweet as could be, but her fiance. And she goes, "Oh, I'm Jodi's daughter." And I'm like, gosh, that just
Your
runs in the family. It's all good.
Incredible. What kind of message do you have for people who who haven't been to Malibu yet? Like, what do you want people to know about Malibu? And look, it's difficult, right? It's not easy to get to if you're not nearby.
It's not easy to get to, but I'm telling you, it is totally worth it just for the people watching and for the shopping, of course.
Of course.
But come out, come see us, come see the beauty of what we still have out there. Malibu seafood. Yeah, you can get a table at Nobu. I mean, that's it. You can actually go to Nobu
just
right
went
now.
for my anniversary.
I love you, G. I hope you appreciate that.
Incredible, man. Where can people find you guys? Where are you located? Where are you on social media? Let's give them all the goods.
Yeah, so we are located in the Cross Creek Shopping Center, the Cost Building, and we're unit number 20, 3835 Cross Creek Road. And you can find us on Instagram at 9026eyes. And I think that's it. We have Facebook at 9026eyes or 9026eyes.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Well, Ari, thank you for coming in. Jodi, thank you for introducing us to Ari.
Absolutely.
We're going to hear a little bit more what people can do if they've been affected by the fires in terms of getting capital. Maybe they do need a loan. Maybe they are willing to take out some debt to put their businesses back together. So we'll talk a little bit more about what folks can do coming up in just a little bit. You are listening to Change Reaction Radio and the Change Reaction Radio podcast. It's 790 KABC. It's 790 KABC, Change Reaction Radio, and the Change Reaction Radio podcast. I am Matt West. I'm joined by Christina Pescucci and Change Reaction co-founder Jodi Perlman. We've been spending the entire hour talking about helping out small businesses in the aftermath of the Eaton fires and the Palisade fires, and I'm really struck by the generosity that has been so apparent. Certainly with you, Jodi, and a lot of the stuff that I've heard with Greg, having done hundreds and hundreds of loans over the years and grants to small businesses, and it's really a thing where you've got to do more than tell people in the aftermath of all this, like, get out and shop.
Yeah, you gotta. As much as you love the generosity, you have a little bit of a bone to pick, I think.
I think so. I want to play a little thing that I heard on someone's Instagram page. I think everybody knows and maybe loves him. It's something I saw on Rick Caruso's Instagram page. Wayman, can you roll that for us, man?
Hey everybody, it's Rick Caruso, and I've got some great news for everybody. We've got some small businesses that are reopening in the Palisades and in Altadena.
Awesome.
In the Palisades,
Yeah, that part's great.
Palisades Garden Cafe is opened up for business.
Cool.
And in Altadena, the grocery outlet is opened up.
What?
Hey, everybody, this weekend, let's all get out to the Palisades in Altadena. Let's shop local. Let's help these small businesses
So
grow.
that shop local
Shop
part
local.
And then
is what
thrive.
gets you.
The small businesses, like grocery outlet, like great that they're open in Altadena and people can get groceries. That's not a small business. That's not even local.
$1 billion.
That's a $3 billion company.
Yeah.
I mean, so like, hey, great, go out and shop. But like, where are you putting your money and where are the other small businesses in that conversation? But hey, thanks, Rick. Appreciate it. I mean, you've got to put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah. And I'll say, I am a Rick fan personally. I think he's doing a lot of great things with Steadfast LA. But I see your point. It's like, especially when you're in a position to really help, put your money where
You
your
could
mouth
really
is.
say something like you've got a following, you've got a platform, you've got a thing. But hey, let's talk about $1 billion company. Whereas there's literally hundreds of small businesses like the ones that Jodi was helping in the Palisades, and ones that our next guest has been helping in connection and collaboration with the Change Reaction for years. Bobby Kobara is with us from TMC
Welcome, Bobby.
Community
How we
Capital.
doing?
Woo.
Really good to have you here, man. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you work and how you work with the Change Reaction?
Yeah, at TMC Community Capital, we're a CDFI nonprofit microlender. So we support small businesses across the state of California, but particularly here in Los Angeles, that are under-resourced and underestimated. So we approach them with affordable loans, but when the fires broke out, we immediately shifted the organization to stand up Small Business Strong. And we've been providing immediate relief grants to small businesses across Los Angeles and Altadena, and making sure that folks have that immediate relief that they need. And with the Change Reaction, we've also been working to pay off the loans of some of our clients. So over 25 of our entrepreneurs have had their loans paid off thanks to Change Reaction.
Wow.
And that's 25 entrepreneurs, but that's their families, that's their
The
organization.
people they employ.
Exactly. So the ripple effect is huge, and we're just so grateful to be working in partnership with Change
Amazing.
Reaction.
And I think it's more than just businesses that were completely lost in the fires, right? Like
That's right.
we know about the buildings that were destroyed and the businesses there, but there are also businesses that were affected where either they were smoked out, or the community or the business center where they were working is there, but the customers aren't there. They've been relocated. They've been displaced, and they're suffering too. How have you been able to help some of them?
Yeah, a lot of the resources out there are focused on businesses that have lost their brick and mortar, and of course they need that assistance. But we want it to be additive and sort of fill a gap. And so a lot of the community members that we're working with, they've just lost inventory. They haven't been able to work. They were evacuated. For many different reasons, there was a loss of revenue, right? And so these relief grants, and we're going to be moving into a loan forgiveness fund as well, are providing that that capital in order for them to get from where they were before the fires and get back on their feet.
I think I did recently start a company, and just it's already so overwhelming. You have so many things to think about. And then if tragedy like this strikes, it's kind of like, where do you go first? How do you find these
Right.
people and offer that sense of hope and recovery in their, greatest time of need?
Yeah. We work with a network of community-based organizations on the ground that have that direct relationship with those small business owners. And one of the things we wanted to make sure we do it with our loans, but we want to do it with our grants as well, is remove the red tape, make sure that it's as easy as possible for folks to apply to get that assistance. So we've made the application and the assistance that folks get as simple as possible.
How do they even find you? Or how do they know about you? Or how does that process work?
Yeah, so the initial outreach has been through those community-based organizations, the nonprofits, again, on the ground that have those direct relationships. But word has spread quickly. So now we're working with the county. There's a bunch of different organizations that have lists of resources, and folks are getting connected to us through a bunch of different ways. But if you want to immediately find us, you go to tmccommunitycapital.org.
And I like how you have a similar model to the Change Reaction, because they're all about having the people on the ground in the communities, the change agents who then connect us to the people in need.
And what's that relationship been like working with the Change Reaction?
I got to credit them with a lot of the way that we're thinking about this work right now, because when they came in and paid off some of those loans to help those entrepreneurs, it got us thinking, how can we do that for folks that are struggling because of the fires, right? So that is part of the reason that we built out this loan forgiveness fund, and it's been inspirational just to see what kind of impact paying off someone's loan can have. And so these immediately forgivable loans will be able to provide that as well.
Now, what kind of work were you doing before the fires, like in terms of helping people? I mean, this organization is not new by any means. It didn't just spring up in the fire. So how were you helping the community before?
That's right. We provide microloans across the state of California, affordable capital for folks that are under-resourced, unable to get traditional finance, and have been historically left out of the financial mainstream. So we call, what we do microloans, but really it has a macro impact when you look at the businesses that we work with.
Bobby, why do you care about this? What was your background in history?
Yeah, so I've actually worked in a few different areas. I worked for the city of Los Angeles doing census outreach and COVID work. I've worked for a fintech that provided guaranteed basic income. And a lot of the feedback I've gotten over the years from the community is that in order to build generational wealth, capital needs to flow into the community. And I think that entrepreneurship is a great way for folks to be able to do that. And so directly working with small business owners has been amazing.
What's been the success rate when you provide capital to a small business, right? There's always a thing like, look, I've taken out business loans myself, right? And you've always got to kind of prove it with a business plan and a 5-year and all of the, just the documents and the P&L and everything. What's been the success rate of people who you've been able to help?
I'm glad you brought that up because, again, these folks in the eyes of traditional finance may be underestimated, under-resourced, but we've had over 98.5% repayment on our loans.
Wow. That's
amazing.
Incredible.
Are there any that really stand out to you, a specific business or example of a company you've helped turn around that you could share with us?
Yeah, one that actually was paid off by a Change Reaction is Guevara's Bakery. This is a generational bakery that has been using the same recipes generation after generation. And because of that assistance, they've been able to expand. They have a brick and mortar, and they're looking to do a lot more.
Now, you've seen a lot. You mentioned you worked in COVID, right? And now all of the experience that you're picking up here in the aftermath of the fires. What do businesses who may not have a problem now, but may find themselves on the other side of this after something in the future? Look, there's another disaster coming. We know it. Like, it's part of living in California. What can businesses do to prepare themselves in case something happens? We don't want it to happen, but inevitably stuff happens. What can people do?
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of cases, easier said than done, but put away some money, save that capital. For times like these, you're going to need it. We actually have a new segment coming out on our series Beyond the Hustle, which focuses on financial education, talking about what can business owners do during economic uncertainty, financial uncertainty. So stay tuned for that, but make sure that you're putting away some savings to make sure you have that runway, and then reach out to organizations like ours or other business assistance organizations in the community.
Talk to me a little bit more about Beyond the Hustle. What is that?
Yeah, so that's our financial education series. We talk to experts in the field, whether it's about savings, whether it's about your business plan, marketing, what have you. We have a slew of different episodes that touch on those different topics, and we're making sure that folks are hearing from the trusted messengers in their community, people that they look to for information. We're bringing them directly to you.
And where can people find that?
You can go to our website, tmccommunitycapital.org, but we also have all of those episodes on the Brick TV.
You're a nonprofit organization,
correct,
right? So I'm just curious your perspective, because I'm a native Angelino, born and raised in California, love it so much, but it's obviously increasingly hard to live here, let alone to start a company. Do you feel like, these public-private partnerships, organizations like the Change Reaction are game changers, but do you feel like the government's doing enough to support these small businesses, or what else could be done to help Californians and people with big dreams thrive?
Yeah, I'm sure there could be more to be done, but if you connect with organizations like ours, like the Change Reaction, there is so much work being done in the community. And wherever you are, I guarantee that there's a nonprofit, there's a SBDC, there's a small business resource center that's there trying to help you. So make sure that you're still chasing your dreams, open that business as you can, and we'll be there to support you.
Fantastic, man. So where can people find you if they want to get the Beyond the Hustle information and learn more about what you do and how you serve the community?
Yeah, find us at TMC Community Capital. Go to the Brick TV if you want to see our Beyond the Hustle education, and go to Instagram and follow TMC Community Capital.
Unbelievable. So zero interest loans, grants, incredible stuff. Total act of generosity and love. And we just appreciate being partners with you here at the Change Reaction. And Bobby Kobara, we want to thank you for coming in. We've got something really interesting and special coming up in the next segment. I hope you'll stick around for it. I'm Matt West. That's Christina Pascucci. Jodi Perlman is here. Bobby Kobara, thank you for coming in from TMC Community Capital. This is Change Reaction Radio and the Change Reaction Radio podcast. Come back in a sec on 790 KABC. And we continue on 790 KABC. This is Change Reaction Radio and the Change Reaction Radio podcast. I'm your host, Matt West, joined by Christina Pascucci and Jodi Perlman for the hour. We've been talking about small businesses and recovery in the aftermath of the Eaton fires and Palisades fires. All kinds of businesses being helped. We had some incredible guests earlier. Ari from a business in Malibu that you were able to help out. Bobby from TMC Capital talking about some of the businesses that they've been able to help out in partnership with the Change Reaction. And joining us now, another small business owner from Altadena. It's Guillermo Lima. How you doing, brother?
Hanging in there.
Tell us a little bit about Big Grandma's Kitchen.
Well, Big Grandma's Kitchen, we started in Altadena, friend of my yard, and doing pupusas, and
it was inspired by your mom.
Inspired by my mom, and how we got the name about it was my daughter. She called my mom Big Grandma, and that was the name.
How long ago was that? When did you start?
2017.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's been quite, you have like a cult following. I feel like people love Big Grandma's Kitchen.
Yes.
An Altadena staple.
Yes, absolutely.
And now January 7th happens. Take us to that day, because you not only lost some critical things for your business, but also your home.
Yeah.
So sorry.
It was a very hard, it is a very hard situation that we're going through. And, we're here, we're safe, but we're not complete. I don't think we'll ever be.
What's that been like for you? You started a business in 2017 in your front yard.
Yeah.
Grew it into a food truck. Commercial kitchen after that.
Yeah.
Right? A catering business too.
Mm-hmm.
And then you weathered COVID through all of this, serving the people. So you've really put in the hours. You've put in the effort.
Absolutely.
What's that like now to have all of that effort kind of erased and taken away from you? What does that feel like?
It's devastating. It's very hard to just start again. Just the beginnings, just reminiscing of the beginnings have been very tough on me. And, it's not like, it's like wanting to do it again because I love what I do. But is it like, should I?
Yeah.
That's the question. Like, should I? Do I want to do it again? Like, it's very hard.
You mentioned you don't feel complete. What do you mean by that?
Like, my baby pictures, my commercial stuff that I need, and I work so hard for those things, and it's, family's all we have, and a lot of that has, everyone's at different places, and just trying to hang in there, taking day by day.
Now, you still have the truck, right?
I do have the truck.
And
yes.
are you operational?
As of the 6th of April, no. I have taken 2 weeks off. I've decided to take 2 weeks off because I need them.
Uh-huh.
and yeah.
When you say baby pictures, are you talking about your 17-year-old daughter's baby? I know she's so special to you. We were talking
Yes.
about her earlier. She's your pride and joy. And so all of that and that coupled with losing your business is what's been so difficult.
Yeah. The baby pictures I have been, I was a teenage parent, and coming out of high school, and yes, you have your phones, yes, you have this, but this was such a tragic moment that, albums, we've printed out those pictures, and those are pictures that we'll never get back,
Yeah. Oh, I feel my heart just breaks for you. I feel it so strongly. The emotion's palpable, and I think that given everything that's happened, I imagine having organizations like the Change Reaction, they helped you in a big way. It was a $10,000 loan, or no, $7,500 loan, $10,000 gift.
Yeah.
What's that been like to receive that kind of capital and have at least a place to start with trying to rebuild?
It has been amazing, right? Being able to take in the gift, but not fully, it's a blessing. I'm not trying to disregard what Change Reaction has done, or, but they're amazing, and there's a lot more to it, and it's very hard.
It's not just cash.
It's not just cash.
It's motivation,
it's
right?
motivation, the value of what you really work for. And, I worked so hard for my stuff, and then just to be taken away.
But it's also
hard.
not enough, right? Like, it's
not
not enough to just
It's
say,
not
hey, I'm
enough,
going to go
but
get a job.
It's not enough, but very grateful for it.
But what I mean is, it's not enough to just go get a job. Like, hey, I've got a family to take care of. I've got a daughter. I've got a house. I got a family. It's as a business owner, right? It's a personal point of pride.
Right.
So how is that for you? Like, how are you squaring that each day? That idea of, like, you just mentioned before, like, should I continue? Right.
Correct.
Like, how hard is that for you? A question to ask yourself and answer it.
It's very hard. Just the fact that my daughter's going on to a college, and to start again, to start getting my business commercial stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really? Should I put my funds into that, or my daughter's college funds?
Yeah.
That's the big question.
What's been the experience like for your fellow business owners in the community and people that you work with? I mean, one of the great things about being a food truck, right, and a catering company is you're in it, man. You are in the community. Yeah. You are with the people. What's it been like for your friends and your colleagues and buddies in the community?
To be honest, I've been very busy, and I get to see a lot of my neighbors come in to eat from my truck, right? And I haven't really dialed in to take in what the burden that this has caused. So,
does being able to feed the community take some of the sting of the loss away?
It does. It fulfills me. But once I'm not doing that, that's where it hits.
Yeah.
That's where it hits.
I really appreciate you sharing so vulnerably what you're going through. And, this is something that is really important to talk about, because the fire now is 3 months past, and some people tend to forget and they move on with their lives. But the people who suffered through that are still very much experiencing the pain and the fallout of that day.
Yeah. They're going through it.
How can people support you? Like, what would be your message to government officials, to patrons who can come to Altadena? Like, what do you want people to know?
We need resources. This last couple of days, and I've been at the donation place on Glen Rose in Woodbury, and it's just run out of food. And you see these people every other day, and it's running out.
Yeah.
And
that sort of initial onslaught of donations where everybody came right out in the beginning, right, and filled up and said, no, we're not taking any more donations. We're not taking any more food. We're not taking any more clothing. Now you're starting to see that dwindle a little bit.
Correct.
And people are still suffering. Yeah, and it's ongoing, too, because, look, those fires were out, a couple of months ago, but you're still feeling that.
Yes, absolutely.
This is why I'm so grateful for the work that Change Reaction is doing in general, because it is important to continue addressing these gaps. They have not gone away, and continuing to shine a light on what's happening. You're playing a role in doing that right now, and I'm just really grateful to you for it, and your bravery and just sharing your story. So thank you.
Yeah, it really takes a lot to come in here and just lay it all out on the table in front of everybody on the radio and on a podcast too. So we really appreciate you, Guillermo. And I think look, Jodi's a small business owner too. She's been in the business for a long time. She's co-founder of Change Reaction. She's part of why this has even been able to happen. Why this radio show's been able to happen. Why we've been able to support you with a grant and a loan. But you've got something extra here, don't you?
Well, first of all, I just want to say it's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm so happy you're here. And you are the reason that we do what we do. You are clearly the reason. You're just listening to you. I hope you're inspiring me, your hard work. And I'm so thrilled that we met. And I know that we gave you that gift of $10,000. And I know that we offered you a loan of $7,500. But what we'd like to do is not make it a loan. We'd like to give you the $7,500. So it won't be a loan. It will be an extra gift to you of $7,500. So that'll take a little bit more of the burden off for you.
Thank you.
I hope that helps a little bit more.
Amazing.
Because you're a very special man, and really, it's a treat to meet you and to hear your story. And I have confidence that you are absolutely inspiring your entire community every single day.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I try to be my best.
You're doing it.
For the kids, for our future. Give them something to look forward, to learn, from. So.
Is that extra $7,500 going to be helpful?
Absolutely. Yes.
Good.
Thank you. You are absolutely our pleasure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh.
You're welcome.
When you get done with your break and you get Big Grandma's Kitchen back up and running, what are you serving, man? Talk to me about it. You started with pupusas. I want to know, what's on the menu, man?
Pupusas, pork, bean, and cheese, plantains, yuca con chicharrón.
Nice.
Ensalada drink, jugo de ensalada, which is pineapple, apples, and mango drink.
Yeah, man.
Sounds
the
so
community
good.
loves that drink.
All right, now they can find you in Altadena. Where else do you normally take that truck?
Monterey Park, Santa Clarita, and Riverside.
Okay, so you're all over the place,
Yes.
man. You're really moving.
Yes.
You're hustling. Where, if people want to follow you and follow Big Grandma's Kitchen and the truck, can they find you on social media?
You can find us on social media on Instagram. It's called Big Grandma's Kitchen.
Unbelievable, man. Well, we're grateful that you were able to come in here today and share your story with us. We really appreciate your honesty, man, and hope for nothing but the best for you.
Thank you.
And for your daughter, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's kicking butt. And I hope this is the beginning of a continued partnership of support. So, let us know how we can continue to be there for you.
Jodi, thank you for your generosity.
Yes, Jodi.
What a gift you've been able to give Guillermo and everybody else in the community. And we appreciate you giving us the gift of coming here to the show, too.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for sharing your story with us.
It was the best day.
And thanks for joining us for another hour of Change Reaction Radio. You can find us everywhere on Instagram at _Change Reaction. You can find us on YouTube at changereaction.org. You can find me on Instagram at Bonafide Matt West. You can find Christina Pascucci at
Christina Pascucci.
Unbelievable.
It's a doozy to spell. So
It is. There's a lot of C's and I's in every vowel just about.
Good luck.
We appreciate you guys listening in. This is Change Reaction Radio and the Change Reaction Radio podcast on 790 KABC. Thanks for listening.